This is the 77 WABC minicast.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
Time, and I should get back at least 45 seconds.
We will give you a few more seconds. I said that already.
45 seconds.
Okay, I'm timing right now, Mr. Nadler.
All right. My time.
Yes, my friends, it was a contentious hearing. This morning, Pam, and it goes into the afternoon, Pam Bondi has been on fire with Democrats. Judiciary Committee met, and this is all related to the Epstein release. And there's so much there that I want to ask and say and all the rest of it. She called Jamie Raskin in that a washed-up loser lawyer and then corrected herself. That's right. He's really not a lawyer. And so it was, it's been a contentious morning. I got texts from a lot of my friends, one of my friends in particular, they're going to have to replace Pam Bondi after this because it was such it was just such, I guess, a hearing that many people that have not or don't follow politics on a regular basis would say, wow, this is happening in Congress? These kind of contentious hearings? Now, I must admit something, folks, a few things. As many of you, I've talked about it on the program before, even earlier in the week, I talked about how I used to watch the Senate every day as routine practice when the Senate is in session. I used to tune into C-SPAN 3 and watch the Senate from the time they opened the gavel and go home and watch it. I'd watch the House as well. And there used to be some decorum. There still is a degree of decorum, not nearly as much as it used to be in Senate hearings and even on the floor in the Senate. That ended a while ago in the House of Representatives. And I remember, Princess Diana would remember this woman's name. All I remember, her name was Maggie. She worked for Hillary Clinton. She was, I think, Clinton's right hand back during Bill Clinton's first term. And she was called to testify in the House. And she lit Republicans up. She was just sneering at them. Every question they asked, they asked her, she either filibustered or insulted them or whatever. And I remember at the time there was a lot of outrage on the part of Republicans over that. Democrats not so much. But it's how dare this woman come here to a House hearing and treat members of Congress like this. It was at the time, it seemed to be really over the top, over the edge. Well, since then, it has been a gradual flush down the latrine. And what we saw on display today is where it's at. There's a difference, though. The Democrats were very fond of using these congressional hearings as theater, as political theater instead of serious hearings. And so this wasn't the behavior of Attorney General Bondi is something that most Republicans would never do. Democrats would do this on a regular basis to Republican members of Congress. And then their crowds would be with signs and disrupting. They still do that. And the decorum, for the most part, Republicans used to still try to hold on to that decorum. It's like, we're not going to do that. It would just be too rude to treat members of Congress in this fashion. Well, under this administration, that's over with. We'll play a few for you. Let's start with cut number 3, California Representative Tim Liu with Pam Bondi. He calls her a liar. She goes right back at him. Here's that.
Because I believe you just lied under oath. there is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a
I
crime.
believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you. Here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop the limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness. You need to interview this witness immediately. Epstein should rot in hell, so should the men who patronized his operation. And as we say here today, there are over 1,000 sex trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you. If you had any decency, you would resign right after this hearing concludes.
The gentleman has expired.
May I respond?
Yeah, I don't know how you respond. No one can.
I did not ask a question, Ms. Head.
You're allowed to.
I did not ask a question.
Crime in California. He does not want to talk about
I did not ask a
crime
question.
in his state.
She can't just ad lib stuff. I did not ask a question.
Meeting will be in order. The gentleman has yielded back his time. I think our next witness will be more than happy to let the Attorney General.
Madam Attorney General, would you like?
And that was where it started with this business with today. Now, Jerry Nadler and Jamie Raskin, who she called the loser, that was, again, another one of the clips that is making the rounds. Cut 5. Jerry Nadler, by the way, went to its news headline saying he's dozing off. Apparently, this is the last term for Nadler. He's resigning. New York's Gerald Nadler. Anyway, that exchange was also, I think, amusing.
How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First.
Come on.
You showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer
theatrics
the
are
question the
ridiculous.
way I asked it.
Chairman Jordan, I'm not going to get in the gutter with these people, but I'm going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time belongs to
Reclaiming my time.
The time belongs.
I think it's very interesting.
Reclaiming my time.
I think it's very interesting.
And you can
When he
reclaim
talks
time.
about they indicted, the president said they indicted him twice.
Mr. Chairman, please stop the clock and restore his time.
Okay, here we go with
Committee
these
will be in order.
theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentleman from New York. We will give you a few more seconds. We will do that. But when you ask a question, the witness gets to answer. You may not like the answer, but she gets to answer.
The question was, how many of Epstein's...
They don't like the answer, Chairman.
my time.
Because it's honest.
Reclaiming
So he asked a 4-minute question.
Restore 45
and
seconds,
I am
Mr. Nadler,
going
please,
to
Mr. Chairman.
Answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch.
That's what we heard before.
Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
Loser lawyer? Not even a lawyer.
We will give you a few more seconds. I said that already.
45 seconds.
Okay. I will.
Yes, my friends. Hank Johnson. Hank Johnson, you remember, is the congressman who once proffered the idea that the tiny island nation of Guam, the American protectorate of Guam, was going to tip over because we were deploying more Marines there. So many Marines that Representative Hank Johnson was worried the island might tip over. Really? We played that clip the last time we talked about Hank Johnson. We dug it up. Anyway, cut 7, Pam Bondi's response with Hank Johnson.
How many lives have been derailed because your department was either sloppy and incompetent or willfully trying to intimidate and punish these ladies
Your time is
coming
up.
forward?
Now, like I said, part of me longs for the days of decorum where congressional hearings were serious instead of entertaining. There's another part of me that actually enjoys the fact that finally, after putting up with this for decades from Democrats, turning these hearings into a circus, into theater, into pure, let's see whether we can get a soundbite on television tonight with being outrageous. Part of me is amused that Pam Bondi does this so well. She caused another member to just get up and walk out. She was so triggered.
That's a wrap for this minicast. Everything you need to know in 10 minutes or less. Short, sharp, and straight to the point. Don't forget to follow, rate, and share with your friends. For more bite-sized takes, go to WABCRadio.com/minicast and download the 77 WABC app. See you next time for a new episode. Stay curious, stay sharp, and keep the conversation going so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?